Every single person, no matter if they're experienced through hikers, no matter if they're complete beginners, are feeling this roller coaster of emotions, the self-doubt, the fear, the anxiety, the excitement. You are about to do something amazing. You're about to do something so big. So if you're watching this video, you are probably starting the Pacific Crest Trail this year in 2026, and you probably have about 3 months before your start date. So in this video, I'm hoping to share 3 pieces of advice of things that I would have loved to hear from somebody who had done the PCT before I was about to start. Okay, so first thing I want to share with you is that these roller coaster of emotions that you're feeling right now are completely normal, and I want you to know that you're not alone. It may feel like you're the only one feeling absolutely terrified. Maybe you're talking to other thru-hikers, maybe you're joining Facebook groups, maybe you've watched YouTube videos, all the different vlogs, all the different Instagram stories. You see the thru-hikers are just thriving on trail, but I want you to know everyone is experiencing this. Every single person, no matter if they're experienced thru-hikers, no matter if they're complete beginners, are feeling this roller coaster of emotions, the self-doubt, the fear, the anxiety, the excitement. Every single day, you're probably going through this roller coaster of all of these different emotions, and it's completely normal, and you are not alone. Now, as your start date approaches, those emotions are going to be heightened. You're going to start feeling even more scared, even more excited, and that's okay. And I'm not trying to scare you. The reason why that happens is because our body is preparing ourselves for this big adventure. And you have been in planning phase for so long. And now that you're shifting from the planning into action, it actually triggers a physiological shift in your body. Our brains are wired for survival, right? And our bodies, our physiological bodies, want to keep us safe. And this response system dates back to our ancestors, our cavemen, our cavewomen, when they had real threats, when they had predators, and it would activate and trigger that fight, flight, or freeze response. And here's the thing, that response of fight or flight response mode is triggered even when the danger isn't real. It could be a perceived danger, like your thru-hike, because what's happening is you are about to embark on a huge unknown journey. And for your body, for your brain, that is a massive threat. So you are literally physiologically going through this fight or flight response system in your body. And it may be flooding you with thoughts like, I am not ready. What if I get injured? What if I get homesick? What if I don't even enjoy this thru-hike experience? So this means that your nervous system is actually doing its job. It is trying to keep you safe. And a really great technique when you notice that your body is going through this response system, and there could be symptoms like starting to get sweaty, maybe short of breath, those thoughts that start spiraling, all that self-doubt. One exercise that I share with all of my clients that I help prepare mentally for their upcoming thru-hike is called the stop practice. And this is by far the easiest and most simple exercise that you can implement starting today. So by the time you get on trail, you know exactly how to implement this practice. So stop. So the S stands for stop. Take a moment, literally just take a break and stop. T is to take a breath. Once you stop, take a deep breath in and exhale. Maybe you let out a big sigh. And O is for observe. Notice how you're feeling. Notice the thoughts that are spiraling through your mind. Notice your physical sensations in the body. And P is to then proceed. So once you've stopped, taken a breath, observed how you feel, you are now in control to proceed and continue on with your day. This is an awesome mindset tool. My clients absolutely love it. They've used it pre-trail, they use it on trail when their emotions get high. They even use it off trail when they are transitioning back into normal life. Okay, second piece of advice that I want to share is don't run away from these feelings. Embrace these feelings. So all of this energy, all of this heightened emotions that you're experiencing right now before your start date, embrace them, because this is all part of the experience. I've talked to so many of my clients who have completed the PCT, and looking back at their entire journey, their experience didn't just start at the terminus and then hiking. Their experience started way before they even stepped foot on the southern terminus, way before, during the preparations, all the research, listening to all the presentations or talking to other hikers, all of those emotions, that is just as much part of the experience as you actually walking on trail. So enjoy this time, have fun, tell people about what you're about to do, soak it in, because what you are about to do is just absolutely incredible. It really is incredible. So a really great way to embrace these feelings is, if you like to journal, I would highly recommend start journaling. If it's on your phone, if it's on a piece of paper, writing it down, jot down your feelings, jot down your emotions, jot down your self-doubts, your excitements, things that you're looking forward to on trail, because that is going to be such valuable information, such valuable memories that you get to look back on after your PCT journey. And you are going to see such a transformation from this person, you, who hasn't even started the PCT, is going through all these different emotions and experiences, to that transformation of the person who gets to that northern terminus, who reaches Canada. You get to see that transformation. So number 2 advice, embrace your feelings, don't run away from them, and write everything down that you're feeling, every emotion, every fear, every milestone that you've achieved. Maybe you finally got the exact down jacket that you wanted. Maybe you finally figured out your sleep system. Write everything down. This is going to be amazing, amazing content to be able to look back on after your PCT journey. Okay, number 3, this was a huge one personally for me, and I really want to share this with you guys, is imposter syndrome and self-comparison are just noise, okay? You belong on trail as much as every single other person out there. I want you to repeat that to yourself. You belong on trail as much as every single other hiker on the PCT. And it's really hard not to compare yourself. It is really hard not to compare yourself. I am speaking from personal experience. You are going to see hikers zoom by you. You are going to maybe want to keep up with these awesome hikers that you've met. Maybe you want to form a trail family and you love these people and they're going a little bit faster than you, but you want to keep up. And this is exactly what happened to me. I remember it was walking into Julian. I think Julian's mile 70, but do not quote me on that. It's been a while. I was hiking with an amazing group of friends. I was laughing more than I had ever laughed in my entire life. It felt like summer camp. I was just having the time of my life. I reached a point where I couldn't keep up with my trail family. They were going too fast. They were pushing bigger miles than I was physically ready for. And there was one day in particular where I couldn't keep up with my friends. Now, remember I told you way back when in this video that I was terrified of sleeping alone in my tent. My biggest goal for starting the PCT was that I was going to make friends and I was going to sleep with my friends every single night, just like summer camp, right? So here we are, just about to head into Julian, and I had never slept alone yet on trail. And here I was, it was probably, 5 o'clock in the evening. I hadn't seen my friends since lunch. I kept hiking. Another rule for me was that I never wanted to arrive at camp at dark. I wanted enough time to set things up so I, could just feel calm and relaxed, because I knew that camping alone was a big stress for me, or just sleeping at night was stressful for me, and I couldn't find my friends. And I was starting to get really, really stressed. Every corner, there were so many tent sites on far out. I was like, okay, next tent site, they're gonna be there for sure. I turned the corner, tent site, nowhere to be found were my friends. I was feeling tired. I was pushing myself too hard. I was going longer than I was prepared for. I kept going. And around 6 p.m., I decided to call it, and I set up camp alone without my friends. And I did find a campsite with other hikers, so I was very happy that I wasn't sleeping completely alone. I had other hikers around, but that night I cried myself to sleep. I was so upset that I couldn't keep up with my friends. I got so caught up in my mind that I wasn't good enough. I wasn't fast enough. I was too slow, that I was crying myself to sleep. And unfortunately, this is something that I carried with me throughout the entire hike. Comparison is the thief of joy. I'm telling you this because I hope that you are able to do better than I did on my Thru-Hike and really just tap into your personal power and your growth, that it doesn't matter what anyone else is doing on that trail. It doesn't matter. You belong on this trail as much as any other hiker. So don't worry about your pace. Don't worry about the miles. Just enjoy and trust that you will get there when you need to get there. Okay, a little final tip before we close this is still in the theme of self-comparison. You will notice that a lot of people are going to ask you, hey, when did you start? And it seems like a really innocent question. And it is, right? At the surface, people are trying to connect with you. People are excited. They want to bond. They want to say, oh my God, maybe we started the same day, or you started really close to my start date. It's this desire to connect. So it's a very innocent question. But unfortunately, what happens is that question then becomes a point of comparison, because you're asking when you started. And maybe the person that you're talking to started 2 weeks after you. How is that going to make you feel? You're probably going to say, wow, that person's really fast. I'm really slow. I suck. What am I doing here? Look at these people. All of these people have started way, way after me, and they're already here. So my advice for you is to try not to ask this question to others, because you hopefully will know how that feels. At least I know how that felt for me personally. And so maybe there are other questions that you can ask. Maybe it's a simple question like, how's your day going? How are you feeling? How's your body? What's your favorite snack right now? Lots of simple questions, but asking your start date is unfortunately a point of comparison. So please try to ask another question to make those connections with hikers on trail. Okay, so that is everything I want to tell you before you start your PCT in 3 months' time. Number one, don't worry, these feelings are completely normal and you are not alone in experiencing them. This is a physiological response to that perceived threat of starting the PCT. Number two is embrace these feelings. Don't run away from them. Write it down. Write all the feelings, emotions, milestones that you're having and experiencing right now before you start your PCT. And number three, comparison is the thief of joy. You belong out on trail as much as every other hiker out there. Okay? You got this. I can't wait to follow along. And by the way, I help Thru-Hikers mentally prepare for their upcoming adventure. I'll link below my free 5-day email mindset challenge. My Thru-Hiker clients absolutely love this mindset challenge. It shares my personal stories of different experiences and challenges I faced on the PCT. It shares more mindset tools, just like the stop practice that I talked about today. So feel free, join that 5-day email challenge. It's gonna be an amazing way for you to start thinking mentally about your PCT Thru-Hike, because my number one thing, guys, is that gear is not the only essential item on your Thru-Hike. Your mind is. So happy trails, good luck on the PCT. You are going to absolutely rock it. See you soon.